Hi class, let's take a look at example 4. Now, the first portion of the problem is to determine what type of test we're actually performing. So take a second and read the problem. And the main question that we're actually trying to address first is, do we have the values of sigma? So in this case, is sigma given? And unless they mention that we have the standard deviation of the population, in this case, we don't have it. It sounds like they're talking about, in this case, that, supermodels have a mean, height of 70 inches with a standard deviation of 1.5. But this part of the sentence is referred to these 9 individuals. And we know that because the claim, it's about greater than 63.6 inches for the values of the mean. So in this case, we don't have it. This is going to be a t interval. Okay, let's take a look at the information of the sample that we're given. So from the sample, we're given that n is equal to 9 subjects, and they have the mean height of 70 inches with a standard deviation of 1.5 inches. So this is the main information on the sample. That's what we're going to be comparing. The next step is to determine, what type of test we're going to be actually doing. In this case, it's a test for the mean. And the claim is that the actual mean is greater than the values of 63.6. So let me just rewrite it as the actual claim. In this case, mu, it's greater than 63.6 inches. And the next portion is HO and HA. Now, as we write our hypotheses, we basically have that HO mu is equal to 63.6 inches, and your HA, you're going to have mu is greater than 63.6 inches. Now, this portion here, it's based on the general setup. So let me go to the first page, and the main claim that they're giving us is that it's a claim on greater. In this case, this is the, that's less. This is the scenario. So we're looking at, the value of the mean being greater in this case. So the HO is going to be an equality. You can call this one H1 or HA. So going back to our problem, we're looking at, a mean greater than 63.6 inches. The next portion of the problem is the test statistic. Now, our test statistic, we don't have the value of sigma, so it's going to be a t value of the following form: x, give me just a second. We're looking at, it'll be x bar minus mu divided by s divided by sigma. So x bar minus the mu divided by the standard deviation over the square root of n. Now, it's probably best if we actually run the actual test statistic, since what we're going to be actually doing is getting the p-value anyways. So please run me the test. Please go to test, and then in this case a t-test, and verify that you're matching with all the values. The actual mu is 63.6. The mean of the sample is 70 inches. The standard deviation is 1.5. And the actual value of n happens to be a total of 9 individuals. The last portion is to address the type of test. This is what actually gives you the correct p-value. And in this case, it's a claim of greater. So please run it and see if you're actually matching. Now our p-value is approximately 6.55. So 6.55. I'm rounding to 2 decimal places times 10 to the negative 7. So it happens to be, wait, I'm so sorry. I retrieved the wrong value. The test statistic is a 12.8. Sorry. So in this case, 12.8. The p-value is the one that I was accidentally reading. So we're looking at p-value and this is the one that is 6.55 times 10 to the negative 7. Now, your main conclusion is going to be based on the p-value. So, as we're talking about this particular one, you're going to go back to, the values of alpha. And alpha is given here. We technically have that alpha is equal to 0.01. That means that C is equal to 0.99. And what we're going to be comparing is, well, in this case, the value of the p-value with respect to the values of alpha. Now, in this case, our p-value is really small, and we're just going to be following this condition. If your p-value is less than or equal to alpha, automatically reject HO. So for this actual problem, the moment that you identify the p-value, you can actually come up to the conclusion of, and let me write it out, well, reject HO, and this is because the p-value, it's approximately 6.55 times 10 to the negative 7, which is technically less than 0.01, which is equal to the values of alpha, using C is equal to technically 99. And that's actually sufficient for this actual test. Let's actually investigate what this actually means. Now, in our main conclusion, we ended up with the statement of rejecting HO. Now, if you reject HO for the test, in this case, we're saying that technically at the moment, the values of mu is not equal to 63.6. We have sufficient evidence that mu is actually greater than 63.3. So rejecting HO means that this is actually true, except that in the wording, you just use reject or fail to reject, and all the statements are based on HO. Okay, so let's go to B. Now, they want us to find the p-value, which we already did on the first part, but they want us to provide a sketch. Now, let me rewrite just the p-value here. So the p-value, it's approximately 6.55 times 10 to the negative 7. The sketch that we're going to be providing, it's technically a sketch of the sample. And this one goes as follows. So the sample that we're looking in this case for the supermodels, we're assuming that it's going to be bell shape. And the actual, well, in this case, the test statistic, and we're talking about that test statistic, ended up being 12.8. The area to the right of it, because we're doing a right tail test, in this case, that is the area to the right, happens to be, in terms of area, 6.55 times 10 to the negative 7. So what the p-value represents is the actual area of the test statistic, and in this particular scenario, we're looking at a right tail test. So what you're looking at, this sketch here is the sketch of the sample. And in essence, you're comparing the sample to the actual population or the shape of a population of a mean greater than 63.6. So when you're writing or creating a sketch for the p-value, you're using the test statistic.